Well, good morning, folks. It's Richard the Fishing Machine here. You know, when it comes to the dog days of summer, many think that you simply can't catch fish. And if so, not many. Folks, this simply ain't true. Fish have to eat. You can load the boat even in the hottest part of the summer. Today, I'm going to show you a great way to do that when it comes to finding bass. The key is simple. Find the bait, then you can find the fish. Oh my, there's one right there. Right there in front of us, folks. Well, we got some of them right there. That's what we're looking for, right there. That's the kind of bait we're looking for. Now, of course, I'm a human being. I wish they were just a little bit bigger than that, but you know, they'll do. And I have a bunch of them in there so far, but I need a few more before we get started fishing. Those are threadfin shad. Every one of them's threadfin. Now, I was looking for some gizzard shad. I was wanting a little bit bigger bait, but for some reason the gizzard shad has eluded me, so I found some back here in the back end of a slough, and there's one that flipped right in front of us. We're going to sneak up here and see if we can make a cast right where that shad flipped. It come up to the top of the water and went. That's what I call a flip. Let's see if they're still there. Yeah, about right there is where he flipped. Yeah, we got a couple. Now there we go. That's the size bait that I'm wanting right here. I'm going to put this one in the bucket. Woo! This is a gizzard shad. And that's a big bass bait right there. Let's put him in the bucket. Yeah, I get a lot of questions about salt. I do. I put rock salt in my tank, about a big handful. And that right there keep your bait in good shape. The water temperature is probably around 88 on top right now. It's hot. The dog days of summer are upon us. As hot as it is, I'm not going to stuff that tank full of bait. I'm not going to do that. It's just too hot for that. Even though I added salt, I've found that you'll lose a lot of them if you do that. So I believe one more cast, if I catch half a dozen, that'd be good enough. That's going to be plenty good enough. What I do is when they come up to the top like that, I'll pay attention to where I seen them come up and flip. That's a term I use. They'll come up to the top of the water and they make a sound like this. It goes, and then you can see the ripples. And then what I'll do is keep my eye fixed on that location and just go up there as quick as I can and make a cast right over them. And a lot of times, sometimes I'll miss them, or sometimes I won't miss the location. I'm pretty good at that. What they do is they move. But sometimes, most of the time, they'll stay pretty close in that same proximity if you'll sneak up on them. And you'll catch a few of them. Well, folks, I finally got the bait that I needed, and they're in good shape. I did put a little bit of more salt, just a little bit more salt in that tank to make sure that they'll last. I was pretty close to the surface temperature. I guessed it at 88. It's actually 86.9 right now, and it's pretty early in the morning. Right now, the heat index is close to 100 already. Hot, humid morning right now. I have a 7-foot Falcon rod right here. It's medium action, and I have 14-pound test mono loaded onto this loose spinning reel right here. This is a 3,000 size spinning reel. Small split shot, that way we can give that bait freedom. It's very hot, folks. This is a size 2 hook, Gamakatsu hook. Now that knot right there is a snail knot. I snailed that hook on there, which is a very strong knot. For those of y'all who uses a snail knot, it's a strong knot. Now the type of hooks that I like to use for live bait fishing are Gamakatsu octopus hooks. There's the size 2 that I have on this rod. Now the other rod right here is a Gander Mountain, 6.5 foot Gander Mountain rod. It's an old rod. I've caught tons of fish on it. I have it rigged a little bit different. This is 10-pound test braid onto this Daiwa 2000 size spinning reel. And that's a, I believe that's a 1/8 ounce barrel weight, a big swivel, which I didn't need a swivel that big, but that's all I have with me. And I got a leader right here about 20 inches long, a 14-pound test red Cajun line. But this knot is similar to a snail knot. It's the knotless knot, and that's a size 1 Gamakatsu octopus hook. The same style hook, but just slightly bigger. And of course, everything here, anytime I go to braid, I'm going to use a Palomar knot, and that's a Palomar knot too. So I believe in those Palomar knots when I can tie them. Let's quit talking. Let's go see if we can catch a few fish. Now what I'm doing to keep them alive, instead of going through both lips, now in the wintertime I'll go through both lips, but I'm just going up through the bottom jaw, up through this nostril like that. That right there is a game changer. They're always talking about game changers, but for a live bait fisherman, that's a big game changer. That'll keep those shad alive a lot longer in hot weather. Now in the winter, I'll just go ahead and go through both lips because they don't die near as quick in the winter. Usually they don't. But we're going to get back up here and I'm going to try on this side. Okay, that shad's ready. Look at him. Look how fast he's ready. Okay, let's chunk it right there. Oh my, we're bit right here, folks. Let's get him. See if we can get him out of there. This ain't a bad fish right here. First bite. That fish right here was probably about 4 feet below the surface. I can tell y'all that. Which is surprising to me. This is a good fish. Doggone good way to break the ice. I just had pulled up here, so I'm sorry about not explaining what I'm doing right here. Oh, he's going to jump and knock a knot on his head up under the boat. There he is. Golly, that's a good fish. Good bass right here. Summertime fish right here. Golly. My goodness. Okay, let's net him. Let's net him. That's the way to break the ice, just right off the bat. My goodness. Come on back here. I actually thought he was bigger than that, to be honest with y'all, the way he fought. But that's still a good fish right here. That ain't a bad fish right there to start it off. Not at all. Beautiful fish. He's almost got his gut back right there. In the summertime, you don't catch them gutted. Not too much. It's going to be a while. This winter, y'all know how they pack on the pounds in the colder months, but that's still a pretty good fish. That was the first shad that I put on. I just flipped him out there, and boom, he got it. Probably 4 feet below the surface. As that shad was swimming down, I seen that line go boom, and I knew it was a bass suspended right there over about 20 feet of water up under the shade of this bridge. Let's get him. Oh, I don't have to revive him. I done that real quick. The reason why is because it's real hot. Now, I was just using a small split shot and that that small hook. What size was it? Size 2 hook. The reason is you need as small a hook as you possibly can put into these shad. A 1/0 wouldn't be too big for that size of shad, but because the water temperature is so hot, it's important to use just as small a hook as you possibly can. That little size 2 will hold them. But let's get back in there and see if there's some more fish. Now that was fun. Let's get us another one of these old big shad out of here. Well, it don't have to be the big one. The one I caught that fish on was probably about this size right here, which is, like I said, a good enough size to catch them big fish. They'll hit them, but I'm just using this little bitty split shot right here, and the reason is water's so hot. So if you use a heavy weight and a big hook, those shad will die just like that. I keep mentioning that, but if you ever get into this kind of fishing right here, you'll see that. And this bait is hard to catch a lot of times. Real hard to catch. But I'm going to get back here. That fish hit that quick. I mean, boom. That minnow, folks, that minnow didn't go down below the surface. He swam down about 4 feet, and it was Katie bar the door for him. So let's just go ahead and try that again. That may be the only bass there, or they could be a bunch of them. You never know. But I'm back in there with them, with a good lively shad. We'll find out right here directly. Could have been a solo fish, but he sure did hit that quick. Usually when they do that, like I've mentioned, there's some competition. I'm just basically freelining that shad because that split shot is not going to sink him very quick at all. He can almost hold that split shot up, I imagine. I figured we'd get bit again like that. Surely that's not the only fish up under there. Sometimes they'll do that. Let's pitch it over here on this side. Maybe there's a school of fish and they moved on this side. I reckon. Oh my goodness. Now, there's something going on right here. Fish has got it. That's what's going on. There we go. There we go. Yep. Those fish moved over here on this side. There's that shade that I was using right there. Golly, that's a spotted bass. That first one was a largemouth, folks. That's a spot. Ain't that big, but boy, they fight. Same thing. That bait might have been about 4 feet under the surface. So I'm fishing appropriate right here. All right. If he'll quit fighting, we'll go ahead and land him. A spotted bass is strong. I mean, both of them are, a largemouth and a spot, but a spotted bass has got more power for their size. All right, that's enough. You're done. You're done. Look at there. Look at there. My goodness. That's 2 right there. That's a pretty fish right there. Look how he's patterned up right there. He's dark because he's been up under that shade evidently for a while. There's a school of shad down there, and I seen them on the depth finder when I went under the bridge. I seen them on this little depth finder, and they're about 8 feet deep, so those fish are in amongst them. That's what's going on. Well, folks, just like I said before, the only thing that I did to find these bass was to locate the shad. And this time of the year, we're getting close to fall. When it gets close to fall this time of the year, in the dog days of summer, shad can be most anywhere. They can be in 3 and 4 feet of water, on top or in vegetation. They can be 22, 24 feet deep, right on the bottom. They can even be suspended. like under a bridge because of current. Now the first bass that I found, if you notice, was at that bridge. Now that bridge was narrow, and it was separated by two big bodies of water on each side of the bridge. This causes what I call a funnel. Now the water was pulling. They were releasing water from the lake at the dam, and what happens, shad in areas like this oftentimes will come up towards the top of the water in the water column. Okay, restricted areas like that. Now the current is more stronger in restricted areas, is what I'm saying, and that forces the shad to come up in the water column a little bit farther up. And in this case, these fish was anywhere from 6 to 8 feet deep. The shad were, and the bass were suspended above them and probably below them, I imagine. They were in that depth. Now the second hole that I found was on a point in a familiar place. This was a main lake point that always holds bass, if providing the shad are there. So I idled over this spot, which I was very familiar with, and the shad were in there. So I knew we was going to catch some fish. But the difference is they wasn't suspended. These fish were actually on the bottom anywhere from 19 to 21 feet deep. The reason why is because the shad were at that depth. Okay. And that's typical bass fishing this time of the year. In fact, they were a lot of fish, and I guarantee you there's a lot of fish up shallow in 3, 4, 5 feet of water on grass right now. So this technique of fishing that we did today, well, you have to hunt these fish. You have to actually be a predator and hunt them. There he is, folks. Golly. This is a good one right here. Unless he's just mean. Man, this is a good one. Come on in here. No, he just mean. This fish ain't that big. Wow. Now that fish was in, I'm going to show you, look at this. That fish was in 21 feet of water. 21 feet of water. I'm back on my honey hole spot, or one of them. I've done checked 3 or 4 different places, folks, and they ain't no fish in them because there ain't no shad. But this is a real deep bass. Come on in here. He's a chunk. And I tell you, I barely had him hooked. Look how fat that fish is. That's just a football. Let's let him go. 21 feet of water. Let's let that fish go. Okay. Woo! I was hoping there was some more fish under that bridge, folks. The reason why is because it's hot. I was wanting to get up under there and catch them, getting that good old shade, but hey, sometimes you got to get out in the sun to make it happen. Now that's encouraging. Quit. To just pull up here and catch one from this hole. That's real encouraging. Alright. Let's send another one back down there because there could be several. Now, that fish has been feeding heavy. That little bass right there was a chunk for summertime. Usually they're not gutted like that or that healthy in the summer. Their metabolism's real high and they burn a lot of that fat off, but that fish was healthy. Hey, look here. We got another one on here. Golly. Alright, y'all ready? Let's stick him. Oh, I missed him. No, he's got it again. Got it again. Golly. Woo! We're on some fish right here. Yeah, largemouth. They're deep. That one actually come out of, look at him trying to shake that hook out. He's not going to do that. 19 feet of water. 19 feet of water. They're deep. I don't blame them. It's been so hot. Oh, excuse me. Let's net this little fish. Not a bad one, really. Quit. You don't do that. That's really a nice one. Long fish right there. I'm proud of this. At least I'm catching some fish. It has been hot, folks. Record setting heat. Woo! Gotta love it. I'm gonna put another shad down there. Y'all blame me? Look here, I'm done bit again. Y'all see that? Let's see if he's there. Yeah, he's there. Oh my goodness, this is a little bit better fish right here. Yeah. This is actually a doggone good fish right here, folks. Let's loosen off on the drag right here. Woo. When I set the hook into that fish, there wasn't no give at all. Of course, he was heading away from me. But this is a good one. Yeah, look here. Woo! Good fish right here. Okay. Good bass. I'm just going to let him tar out. And that was just on a thread fin. That wasn't on one of my big ones. Golly. Wow. I can't tell y'all how he's bending this pole. Come on back here, boy. That's a football and a half. Okay. That's a healthy fish. That's two real healthy fish I've caught right here off of this spot. Come on, boy. My goodness, what a beautiful fish for a summertime bass. Now, folks, for a summertime fish, for this time of year, that's a very, very healthy fish. Look how thick he is. He's more like built like a wintertime fish I was talking about a while ago. Beautiful, beautiful largemouth. Let's let him go. Heavy fish. Let's get him back. Alright, there he goes. Back to the depths. Sport. Second to none. I'll tell you, one of the hardest whoopings I ever got was from my aunt. Her name was Aunt Flossie Mae. She tore my hide up like you wouldn't believe. I didn't never ever mess with that woman again. She put it on me, boy. Back in them days, they'd do it. And then all this is just a drop right here. It's just drop off. It's like I'm in 21 feet of water right now, or that cast was, and it gradually goes up that way. Gets shallower as it gets. It's a really a quick taper right here. This is a deep, deep point. Yep, there's one right there. Oh. I felt that shad flutter. He went like that, and after he got done with that, he got hit. Let's see what we got. Golly. Back off to the races again. Deep water right here. Man, I like this rod right here, folks. It's a Falcon rod. And it's got the action, it's got the bend that I like in a rod, especially for this type of fishing right here. Okay, we barely got him hooked. That's the way I like it. I try to time it that way too. That's a little chunk. I'm going to try to flip him. Oh, he's a little bit much with that light line. But that's a chunk. All of them just healthy down there deep. Look at there. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Now, I'm going to tell you what's going on right here. That's 4 bass I've caught right here. Just boom, 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 boom. They're going to go back to the school. And they're going to put off and release a pheromone that's going to spell danger for the rest of the fish. And they're going to start being really tough to catch. That's what they do when you release them back like that. All right, folks, we got it done today. We caught quite a few fish. Pretty good ones at that for the dog days of summer. I didn't really expect to do real good, but we done a little bit better than what I thought we would do, to be honest with you, because fishing's been a little bit tough here lately, and that's natural. During the dog days of summer, it can get tough. But I want to say thank y'all for all y'all done. All these years of watching Richard Gene the Fishing Machine. I tell y'all thank y'all every time, but I really don't know what else to do, because I feel like it's a privilege to entertain y'all. And I don't know how y'all are continuously listening to my opinions, but y'all do. And I sure do thank a lot of y'all for that. I love each and every one of you. I want to say God bless each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all very much for all you do. Hey, it's hot. But does it matter to me? No. That right there. Woo. Hey, man. Woo. And to remember. Okay. Go fishing with